Here, I think that the law is such that it's going to be a very hard case for Arizona, and I'll tell you why. Because the Constitution itself provides for a power given to Congress to establish a uniform rule of naturalization or immigration control. Now, parts of the Arizona law don't affect immigration in that direct way. Employer sanctions, those have been upheld. In fact, the Justice Department didn't even challenge a lot of the provisions of the law. But certain provisions, those in terms of checking immigration papers or checking identity papers and so forth when an arrest is made or when a stop is made, those touch on the powers of Congress to establish a uniform rule of naturalization. It's not that Arizona doesn't have some very good arguments. They do. But it's going to be a very tough argument given, I think, Judge Bolton's opinion, which is a very strong opinion.
What about the other controversy, whether or not, if you're born here in the United States, you become, right now it is you are an American citizen if you're born here. There are some who are seeking to, or at least discussing, trying to revoke that part or rescind that part of the Constitution. What's the historical underpinning of that requirement, and what does it take if those people want to get it changed? What do they have to do?
Well, Greta, I think it would take a constitutional amendment to change that. This is an ancient part of law that we then made absolutely clear in the 14th Amendment, which was ratified after our Civil War. And the 14th Amendment guarantees every person certain rights to due process, to the protection of life, liberty, and property, to the equal protection of the laws. And that is such an important set of protections for all of us as Americans. But it also begins, that is, the 14th Amendment, this post-Civil War amendment, begins with a very specific definition that a person born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction of the United States is a citizen of the United States. That's pretty clear to me. So I think it would take a constitutional amendment to change it, but it's not as if the ratifiers and the architects of the 14th Amendment just made it up. They were really restoring a very venerable tradition in English law and, frankly, United States law. We need to have immigration reform in this country, and we need, as part of that, to have control of our borders. But no, it's really at this stage a governmental problem. It's not the kind of problem that the courts can fix.